In order for any type of change to occur, one must be willing to think on a different level and view from a different perspective. That is my thought, and that's what governs my life. I'm Latanya Davis. I'm a Christian, and my faith guides everything that I do. I'm also from Houston, Texas, and I went to a high school named after Jack Yates, a man born enslaved who went on to form churches and Emancipation Park when the world told him that it wasn't possible. Years later, I found myself raising my autistic son alone, and every system that was meant to help us was not necessarily fixed, and some were even broken. So, just like Jack Yates, I built my own. Not because it was cute, not because it was trendy, but because it was necessary. And that's what you're going to learn from me today. What moment in your life forced you to build your own way because no one else handed it to you? Let's talk about frameworks. When my son was little, every morning it was a little bit of a struggle. It might have been behaviors, lining up toys, no eye contact. And so I learned about the 8 sensory systems. I learned that I had 5 and my son had 8. I didn't really know what to do until an OT taught me about something called the sensory diet. This is a list of strategies for children to regulate themselves. This became my framework. Same spoon, same lighting, same routine, and it worked. And I realized that this is what we do in life all the time. We just haven't named it. So a framework is a repeatable, tested way of getting results you can teach someone else. So what's a routine or process that you use in your own life or work that consistently works and could help someone else out too? That is your framework. Next, we're going to talk about a flywheel. So when I launched my Natural Hair Academy and the community, there was no pre-planning. There was no marketing calendar. There were no email sequences. There were no funnels. I just went live one day and started talking about my hair, my natural hair story, and what nobody actually taught us about our hair. Things like 1, 2, 3, and 4 system are based upon Eurocentric standards. Now I know that, and so now I use the words coily, curly, wavy, straight, and classic. But again, I didn't go to sell, no pitch, just a conversation. It turned out that 105,000 attendees and views came within a matter of days. So, a flywheel is a system where one action fuels the next, and it keeps turning and turning and turning. Mine is built around community and culture, conversation, and conversion. If you could build one cycle where your audience finds you, connects with you, and stays with you, what would that be? That's your flywheel. Let's talk about licensing. So at Amazon, I help build many things. I'm a well-known global DEI expert with my own company, and I also served as the head of Amazon DEI for Amazon Prime and also Amazon Global Marketing. So I helped build what was called the North American Sponsorship Program for all backgrounds of women. It wasn't just an event. It wasn't just an initiative. It was a system that led to promotions, retention, visibility, and leadership pathways. That very same system scaled globally the next year. And that wasn't it. I also built promotion policies as a result of my DEI work for my company. I now have all kinds of great things that are now licensed. That system is what could be packaged and licensed for you. And let's be clear. There are white-led organizations that are selling 6-week leadership programs for $300K with no evidence that it works. So this is what you know that you can do. A licensing really means that you sell to others the rights to use your frameworks, your keynotes, your workshops, your books, while you retain the ownership. So I even built an email and pitch template to make licensing easier. Here's a question for you. What's something you already created or led that already made a difference? And what could be packaged and also used for others as well? Let's move on to GPTs and AI, a subject I love. When COVID hit, AI really wasn't mainstream. And I remembered having to build lessons for my son. I wanted to make sure that my son continued to learn throughout COVID, so I did. I built lessons and I placed it in a Facebook group. There were 150 downloads. When I went back, there were 4,000 downloads that families had taken from me. I had no idea that so many people needed support and help, and those were all for free. Then it hit me that this actually was a digital business for my child. So now I've turned those very same lessons into frameworks, and they're now AI tools powered by GPT prompts. They help parents and businesses, small businesses, organizations, Black women, communities. They help so many people to get the on-demand answers from lived experience. A GPT is a custom AI tool built from your experience and lens that gives people instant tailored answers. If someone needed your wisdom at 2 a.m. in the morning, what would you want them to have in their hands? That's the question. That's going to be your GPT tool. And that's what I've created. It's a GPT tool for autism moms, for schools, school districts, for organizations, brands, companies. I've done it all. And I did it using my own experience as an autism mom, as a DEI expert, and also as a naturalista. That's what I'm saying. Your identity is what you need. Let's talk about something else I chose to build. Private communities. I never found communities where I fully felt I belonged as a natural hair, as a Black woman, as a DEI leader, who's an extrovert and very confident. I remembered in one of the communities, I would position ideas and things of that nature, and the leader never responded. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and think about building my own community. Again, a lot of things happen because of my experience, right? So I decided to build the AI Identity Innovators, the Naturalista Hair Academy, and the Autism Moms Collective, and even more. They run themselves. I just create the space for identity and innovation, and I provide people with the tools that they need to be able to move and grow through. So a private community is a space where you own and control and build your own frameworks, your tools, and conversations. You allow people in who are also aligned with your same mindset, because the goal is to continue to replicate and not build more followers, build more founders. So who's missing a safe, intentional space that could really be made for you? And could you be the one to build it? Of course you can. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to pick everything that I share with you today, but you can pick one. I started with one. It was a framework for autism. And then I began to build a flywheel to move from there. And from there, I built custom GPTs. You don't always have to have a funnel or a perfect plan, but you do need to have a problem that you've solved for yourself. Which one feels most natural to you to begin with now? Remember, you're the hero of the story. So the next time somebody tells you there's no space for that, remember, we built cities and swamps. Just to close this out, I am a Christian Black woman from Houston who turned survival into systems. I'm an award-winning educator in K-12. I built DEI systems, not necessarily initiatives, but systems that actually work to solve problems in organizations. And I did so because I wanted to change people's lives. I've spoken at the Hong Kong Women's Wealth Council about autism. I've helped Elevate Labs, design their tech and their app for 50 million customers, which was amazing. I helped to train them for that. My autism lessons turned out to be my very first digital product. And I've also had 38 brand partner offers to come to me because of how I show up and how I package my own lived experience. You already have the bones of a business, but you just haven't packaged it yet. Here's the affirmation for you. I already have what I need. I'm just now going to package it. I already have what I need. I'm just now going to package it. So here's my call to action for you. I built the ecosystem, and you can build yours. Frameworks, flywheels, licensing, GPTs, private communities. Pick one and start today. Thank you so much for coming to this conversation, and I definitely want to have more with you later.